Hello YouTube, welcome to the second part of this series whereby we are going to be creating the types that are available, that will be available on our server, on our API when we create for those types. Okay, so like I told you earlier on, GraphQL is a type-based system, a type-based query system, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so unlike the REST API whereby you have an endpoint whereby you hit, like, let's say /books, and then it gives you whatever it has in the form of a JSON output or a JSON respond. GraphQL enables you to actually create a type. Okay, let's say a type of a book, and then inside a book type, you're going to have a list of attributes or folds, or what I would call what is fold. So it allows you to create a list of folds that are queryable. Okay, so you can inside, let's say you want to get a book, and then get a title, and then get maybe the author of the book. GraphQL enables you to do that. Like I said, it's flexible. You ask for what you want, and then you get what exactly you requested for. So let's say this was a book, you could ask for the book and then the name of the book and then maybe the author of the book, and it's going to return it to you just as you requested for. Okay, so straight away to our Visual Studio editor, and then let's start implementing our types. So I'm going to clear this off and then start with a new type. I'm going to call this type book. Okay, so for my book type, GraphQL also has data types. Okay, so I want every book to have an ID. Later on, when I implement a backend, the MongoDB backend for this one, you're going to have an ID. So I want you to have a type of ID. Okay, and in GraphQL, okay, if you want something to be a not null, okay, you use the exclamation mark. And there's no need to put a comma here because GraphQL is smart enough to understand this is one fold and the next one on the new line is another fold. Okay, so there's no need to put a comma or a semicolon at the end of your types to indicate the termination. GraphQL is smart to do that. So I want to get a book, I want to get the title of the book. That's going to be a string. So there's also a string type. In the doc, when you want to know more about the data types that are available for GraphQL, you can check the docs. I believe they are int, they are string, they are the floats. I think we have floats, we have objects, we have a whole lot of stuff. The data type shouldn't be a problem for you. If you want to know more, like I said, you go to learn, and then there should be more of those data types here. So let's see. Inside, okay, so inside a type system, okay, just trying to see if I can find the docs related to the things you can query for. Okay, so here we are. We have oh no, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, good. So here are the default scalar types that are out of the box. You have the int, you have the float, you have the string, you have the boolean, you have the ID. Okay, so the ID is a scalar type which represents either a unique identifier often used to fetch an object such as a key for a cache. The ID type is serialized, the same as a string. So however you define it as an ID, it signifies it's not intended to be human readable. So whether you provide a string or you provide an object ID or a unique ID, GraphQL is able to understand the type of object you're trying to query for. Okay, so these are the scalar types that we have for GraphQL. You can check more in the description below. I have the link down there. Straightforward to what you are doing. And the title, maybe our book will have a cover image. So let's say cover image, and I'll make that a string because it's going to be a URL. I can leave that as a null, and I'll have an author, the name of the person who wrote the book. I can leave that too as also null. And I'd like to know how much of that book I have in stock. So for that one, I'll use an int, and I'll leave this for now. Okay. Later on, you can add more folds later as you need it. Again, I'm going to create another type called I said I'm going to create a school management API. So let's say for the books, you need to have maybe some courses that are related to the courses that we use this book. Okay, so then after I create a program type, and then maybe students work for that program and the facilitators that teach the courses and whatever have you. So let's continue. For each course, okay, I want to have an ID again for the course, and I want it to be an ID, and then of course you have a name. That should be a string. I want to have a course code. Okay, that should also be a string. Sorry. Oh, come on. That should be a string. I want to know if there are some facilitators, or let's say tutors. Let's say tutors that teaches these courses. Okay, so tutors that can teach this course. And I would right now make it a list of strings. Okay, the time I'm going about the tutor course. Oh, come on, sorry guys for these interruptions. Okay, so I would like to know the teachers that can teach this course, and again I'd like to know the credit hours that are available for this course in a week or in a month or whatever you want to call it. I prefer to use course code this way, kind of stick the Pascal casing. So course code, and then credit hours is going to be an int, and I think that'll be okay for now. Okay, and then I'm gonna create a type of a program. Sorry, not type that right, please. So the type of a program, and then for the type of a program, I'm gonna have maybe an ID again for the program, because I'll be using MongoDB, and I need to kind of provide an ID for everything, every entity I have. And then I'm going to have a title or a name of the program. That's going to be a string. And then I would like to know the duration of the program, and then that'll be a string, right? And again, I would like to know the details of that program. Okay, so the details is going to be let's say a list of details. Okay, a list of details. Let me say details. Okay, because details are generated. So which means I need to go and implement a type of details over here. So let's go ahead and implement that type of details. So for the type of details, I would like to get let me say detail. Okay, because it's a list of detail. So for the detail, I'd like to get the level. Let me use a small L. It should be like a level. So let's say for a level, let's say level 100 or level 200 or level 300. What are the courses you'll be doing in that level? Okay, so the courses you'll be doing, and I want this to be a list of courses. Okay, a list of courses. But since we are using course as a type, I think if you get the ID of the course, that will be better. But for now, let's kind of let's just go straight to the point. Okay, I want to get a list of IDs. So this is going to be a list of IDs of courses that I have. Okay, so this will be like a nested object whereby I have a level, and I have, so let's say level 100, I have the courses that are available for that level. Level 200 the courses, level 300 the courses, level 400 the courses, and that will be the detail for the program. Okay, so let's implement the student type ID, the student type. So I'm going to have a student, and then for every student is going to have an ID like we always have for every entity in our system. And then every student is going to have, let's say, an application ID maybe used in buying the forms or registering for the university, the application ID, kind of the exams number. Okay, or let me just strip the application ID and then make it exams number straight for every university, and then how they operate. So exams number as a string, and then I'll get a surname necessary for the listing a student. So a surname string, other names. I don't want to kind of bloat my entry by providing surname and last name and other names, and then sorry, first names and a whole lot of stuff. So other names, so which means the first name and any other name, middle name will go into other names. Okay, so that'll be a string, and then I would want to get a date of birth, DOB for short, and I would want to get it in a string. Now remember, when we checked the type system for GraphQL, we didn't get a date type over here. Okay, so we'd have to pass in our data as a string, and then later on serialize it or deserialize it when we want to perform calculations on the date. Okay, I'll show you how to do that, don't worry. So you can even implement a custom scalar, maybe like a date type, but that will be too extreme for this video. I'm trying to target beginners in this video. Okay, so once you gain understanding of the basic concept, you can go ahead and implement your own date types, scalar type, and then use it for your own purposes. Okay, but for the sake of this video, I will stick to using string as my type for the date of birth. Okay, then I'll have the gender of the student. It's going to be a string, whether it's a male or a female. I could have actually used a boolean, maybe true for male or female for false, but let me use a string. Nationality, that'll be a string. I think I have enough data about the student, but let me just take the current level. Okay, the current level. So whether he's in level 100 or level 200, level 300, we'll use that. And then let's say the program the student is offering. Okay, and I want that to be an ID. And then the books he was giving. Okay, now the books he was giving, every student will have to take books when he or she registers for any semester. Okay, so the books you're giving for each semester, I'd want it to be a list of books given. Okay, so which means I'm going to implement another type called books given, and then show how to actually, it's going to be a list of that object. Okay, so I'll do that later on, but let me just add a last more contact, and I'm going to make it contact object. Okay, so let's say contact input contact. Okay, sorry, forgive me for typing input. Okay, so I think I have everything I need for now. Let's go ahead and then implement the types that we just introduced. So for the type of books given rather, I would want to have the level, so which means the system will keep records of all the books you're given from the level you set it, and then the books itself that you're given. It's going to be a list of let's say books. Okay, a list of books. I think that will be the solution. And then for the contacts, let's see, for the type of contact, let's create, let's say, the phone number. People now have more than one phone number, so I want it to be a list of string. And then maybe email, probably emails, people also have a list, more than one email, so I want to provide all of them. And then maybe addresses. Probably the person might have more than one address. I just want to kind of take all those into consideration when I'm making it, because it's easier to implement a type now and then kind of make accommodations for future enhancements or future additions, rather than to create a schema now and then later on come and modify it, because modifying it you don't know where you might break other stuff. Okay, so it's kind of adding it. It's better we add it now and then really save ourselves the headache. Okay, good. So lastly, I'll just, once we have a student, we should also have let's say the list of tutors that can also teach a course. Okay, so let's add the type of tutors. Okay, so for the tutors, because the tutor is also going to be kind of, they're going to have something similar to the student. They are humans, right? So I'll later introduce something we call an interface in GraphQL. Let's finish with this one first and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so for the tutor, I just want to have the name. Maybe I should have taken the image of the student or something, a picture of the student, but I don't know if that will be necessary. Let me leave that out because I won't be doing any. Well, let me just put it there. Okay, so picture, that'll be a string. So I think I'm going to copy everything I have here and bring it down here. So instead of essence number, I'm going to have a staff number, because a tutor will definitely be a staff. Any other name, database, string, nationality, they're going to have something common. And then something that will distinguish the teacher will be, maybe he's going to have a contact. He's going to have a contact. So contact is going to be a type of a contact that we just implemented over here. And then maybe we want to know the qualifications of that teacher, right? So maybe qualifications, maybe he has a master's, he has a PhD. I'll put that in a string. Save myself the headache. I'm kind of lazy. So, and we want to know the courses this teacher or this tutor can teach, and I actually want to put it in. I want it to be a list of IDs. Okay, so a list of IDs of the courses the teacher can teach. Okay, so I think as of now we have all our types implemented. If you don't know what I just did, I just created the types that our GraphQL API could return. Okay, and for each type, the fields that are available that we can retrieve. Okay, so let's say I want a book, I can get a book, I can get a title, the cover, and then the author, maybe the number of books I have in stock. Let's say if I want to get the information about my courses, I can get the name of the courses, the course code, and the tutors that can teach it. And since we have a tutor type created, let me make this an ID, and then for the program, I'm going to have the name of the program, the duration, and then the details of the program, which means for every level in the program, I'm going to have the courses that are available for it. And since you have courses, you can also get a teacher, the tutors that do it. And then since every student kind of has a program he or she offers, you can also get that same information over here. So over here you can see that we have some kind of relations between our entities or our types we've created here. There are lots of relations between them. So don't worry, as we move on, we find how to resolve all these entities and then all these types, how to actually query them and then mutate the data we have in there. That'll be the end for this video. In the next video, we are going to look at how to write the resolvers for this one, and then moving forward, we connect to our database and the other cool stuff as we move along. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, motivate me by subscribing to this channel, liking this video, sharing it to your friends, and telling me what you think about it in the comment section below. Until next time, see you again.